Alright, Shalom. First of all, I must like to give all praises unto Yahawashi, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. I want to say double honors to the apostles and the Elders of Great Millstone for teaching His word. And Shalom to all the brothers that's doing the same. Oh shit. I didn't really put anything together. This is all just based off a dream or a vision, I should say, that I just had. So like, let me jump to one scripture real quick. Oh, shit. Where is it? Let me see. I want to say it's Numbers. Yeah, I knew it. Number 12. So like it, that's not even it. I'm tripping. Alright, here we go. I just start from 4. It's Numbers 12 and 4. It says, And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, Come out, ye three, unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. So like it says, And the Lord came down in a pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they came forth. Verse 6, it says, And he said, Hear now my words, if there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord Yahawah, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. And that's pretty much the point. So even if like growing up, I always knew about the so-called Christians having dreams, their children. Oh, I saw Jesus, and he's some white dude, so-called white man. Even in those dreams, the scriptures tell you that the deceived and the deceiver are his, So, and that's really kind of on the point, because me personally, myself, recently, I've been going off, putting other things before this ministry. And so if the Lord wants to deceive you, there's literally nothing you can do about that. I'm sure a lot of brothers know, a lot of guys that fell out of the truth, went back into the world, things of that nature. And they get condemned, they get curses put on them. But really, like it tells you in 2 Thessalonians, the Most High gave them the strong delusions, So it's really, you go to Deuteronomy, it was prophesied that we were going to go off. So basically the point is, through the apostles, through the elders and the men that taught them, and the men right under the elders and the apostles, we know that there's no such thing as free will, because of the truth that they brought up in the scriptures through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. And that's why we're able to understand that if you go to the left, if you go to the right, it was all ordained, before you did such. Anyways, let me just jump to this Job 33. And 14, I'll start from. It says, "For the Most High speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not." It says, "In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man." So I basically said I'm making this video because I just had a dream, or a vision. And the reason why this video is titled Psalms 91, let me go to it. It's because it was this was during the time the missiles, had started to fly, things like that. And I can't really remember the scripture that speaks about the bahasham of destruction. But that was one thing that was very clear in the vision. And the vision itself was, and this is how you know. This is how you know. You go to Revelations, you go throughout the scriptures. When the prophets, they had visions, it jumped in different time periods, So it wasn't like 100% chronologic, I should say. Just like you go to Revelations, and it speaks about the 3 woes. Or you go to Revelation 13, and all of a sudden it just says, out of nowhere, he that hath an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Just out of nowhere, it jumps. So that's how this vision was. It was, let me see. Let me go to 2nd Ezra, because it was brothers, it was other brothers, not just Israelites according to the flesh, but brothers that are in this truth, in that vision. And I can't remember faces, but through the spirit I already knew, okay, this guy is a man of the Lord, he knows the scriptures, because it was times where we were quoting the scriptures. And I believe 2nd Ezra, maybe 15. Let me go down. Yeah. It should be this. I just gotta find it. Salakia. And basically, I can understand that this is in this vision. And I just had this like 30 minutes ago. So, I woke up And I've seen brothers' testimonies on having dreams, having visions. And I've had, certain dreams my whole life and things like that. So I know when you get a vision, you wake up, you get that weak feeling, almost like, oh man, I had a vision, I want to say 2 weeks ago, around that time. And I should have did a video on it, but it was specifically concerning the mark of the beast. And it was like I was a hologram in the vision. I was there, but I wasn't there. And I was there to see, just like it says in Psalm 91, the reward of the wicked. But it was so vivid that when I woke up, when the scriptures speak about that bahasham of destruction, that wind, that destroying wind, I woke up and it's like my whole throat was completely dry, like I had been in a smokehouse or something, like I was in a so-called gas chamber in Auschwitz or some shit. So that's how clear it was, I was just like a hologram. I was just projected in this dream. And there was men that I knew in the world, Israelite men, somewhere in the Navy, things like that, who were in that dream, and they tasted that second death, and they were pretty much proud up until the very last moment, till it was like actually, oh shit, till the shit actually hit the fan, till there was like Sarah Connor holding on to the fence. So yeah, I was there. So the point is, like, when you wake up from those visions, those dreams, it's so real. Like I said, when I woke up that time, I was coughing. It literally felt like I had just, like, I was just smoking or something. Just smoked a cigarette or some shit, or a black or something, and it went down the wrong way or something. That's how it felt like as soon as I woke up. So, and basically everybody who tasted that death, they had the mark of the beast. So Adam Abbott, Adam Ant, they're definitely going off, but this isn't going to give them any clout, so I'm not really going to bring them up. But there was this specific scripture that me and a brother quoted during this time in this vision and during this time period. We were on like I want to say like a military base, but now interpreting this vision, I'm understanding maybe because it was a government first facility or government area, open land. All right. But now I'm able to possibly piece it together and say, oh, concentration camp, maybe that's what it was. So we were there, and it was specifically Russian armies. They invaded or whatever, and there's so many scriptures going with that. Satan casting out Satan. Satan divided amongst himself, or a house divided amongst itself cannot stand. I said the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Tons of it, but the scripture that we quoted, me and the brother, it was what was it? I can't find it. Let me see. That's what I was saying. There's a 16. it was this scripture. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And the reason why I opened it up with Psalms 91, this is the part of the vision. Let me just read the scripture. Matter of fact, right there, 91:10. It says, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. And even though we were in captivity, like we are today, but this is like a base government run facility or something like that they had us in. And so even though we were, I guess, held captives, you could say, we didn't have phones, we didn't have the actual 1611 in our hands. It was just in us. And it kind of sounds funny, but when the Russians came and infiltrated, they came in, like the scripture just said, like madmen, straight automatic weapons, like just shooting. And I can't really remember why we didn't get shot. Maybe we hid. And then so they had came in like that, and it was specifically Russians. That's a big point of division, because that's the prophecies are speaking. And you can see Russia versus America, both Edomites, Satan against Satan. So it was specifically Russians. I know just a tiny bit of Russian, so it was definitely Russians. But and then the vision jumped. After they came in, they was just licking people off, and it was like they couldn't see me and other brothers. And sometimes we hid, but and sometimes it's just like they just didn't see us at all. Maybe because I was like a hologram again in this vision. But when they came in, they was just waxing everybody, and that was the scripture that me and one brother quoted. It was 2nd Ezra 16:17. And so like I said, the vision jumped, and then it jumped straight to the missiles, and so it's a crazy vision. But since we knew the truth, we knew what was going on and things like that, we didn't even really panic. The only thing we thought about is, okay, are we going to be alive to get beamed up into the chariots, basically? Everybody running around like a chicken with their head cut off. But we were just thinking about the chariots. So there was like a telescope or something. And you could look in the telescope, and then when we looked, we could see the chariots like on their way. Thousands of them, And the vision was just so crazy. But we could see the chariots on the way, and we could also see the missiles on the way. So specifically, there was one missile that actually landed, and there's just a lot of destruction before then. But I'm going into, one of the biggest prophecies in the scripture, which is those arrows. There's a lot of fire, a lot of death and destruction before then. I can't really remember, in great detail, but there's specifically, and it makes me think about Psalms 91. The point where the arrows, or where the missiles actually landed, and that wind came, we weren't in the exact same area where the missile actually landed, but it was like when the missiles were coming back into the atmosphere, and the masses, everyone else who saw it, it was like, as the scripture says, wailing and weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's what it was. It was like like, oh my God, like this is straight mourning, you know. Meanwhile, me and brothers, we were rejoicing, you know. And so after all the destruction happened, that missile landed, and it was like, me specifically, I kind of like branched off by myself. Proverbs 20 and 24, you know. Matter of fact, let me just jump to that real quick. And I say I was branched off, but I was really led, you know. It says, Proverbs 20 and 24, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? You know, it was, I can say, oh, I was doing my own thing. I was just trying to hide, but the Lord led me to the perfect spot, basically. But in the vision, it was just as if, Salakia, let me go to Habakkuk. Nah. Was it Habakkuk? Salakia. Yep. It's Habakkuk 3 and 1. This is a prayer of Habakkuk the prophet upon Saganoth. So, O Lord Yahawah, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. And that's exactly what it was. Like, people run around recklessly. But me and other brothers in this vision, we were praying to Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi. And it was like we were the only ones that knew that name. And so this is like the most spiritual part about the vision. And that missile dropped and it landed and whatnot. And that bahasham, Isaiah 14:23, I will also make it a possession for the bittern in pools of water, and I will sweep it with the bahasham of destruction, said the Lord of hosts. Let me just see. This is my first time looking up this word bahasham. From the Hebrew word mata'ata, broom. That's crazy. Broom. As removing dust, or it's like as removing dirt, to remove dust. And so when the missile landed, it was like we were headed to the perfect position from that wind, from that bahasham of destruction, from all that. It's hard. It's like a fire wind. It's wind, but it's like, I guess, what, radioactive or some shit. And it just consumed. But we were headed until that wind passed away. And when it passed away, I was by myself, but I knew brothers weren't destroyed from that bahasham, and I couldn't see them, but we were still in the same area. And I just started out this chant, you know, Kwam Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi. And, you know, I didn't really know if I just started that, you know, then other brothers would join in. I just said it one time out loud, And then from then, it was a chant in unison with the brothers. I couldn't see them. They couldn't see me. I know I was a little bit further away from them, but we could just hear each other. And yeah, it was basically, we were rejoicing from that. And then basically I woke up and the chariots were coming into the atmosphere, you know. So, and that's why I said it wasn't really chronologic, because you go to the scriptures. We go. Psalm 91. Let me just read down. It says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." And throughout the whole vision, that's what it was like. And maybe it was because, you know, I knew it was a dream, even though it felt real. I knew it was a dream. So that fear of death, it just wasn't there like that. But it was like we were all under a shadow. We just couldn't be touched. That's why I said when the Russians came, it was like we were under that Harry Potter cloak. You put it on and you turn invisible. Some of them just ran right past us. You know, it was just all spiritual. It says, "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler." And that's what it was like the scripture says, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know, that's stability of those times. We didn't have no smartphone. Oh, brother, that's Psalms. You know, we just, at that point in time, it was just in us. It says, "Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day." And that was especially felt in the vision because we saw the missiles coming, but we weren't focused on the missiles. When we saw the missiles coming, we knew, okay, the missiles coming. Well, guess what? The chariot's coming too. Everybody else is just like, "Oh my God, what do we do?" Crying and running around. We were calm. There was a fear and an uneasiness, you know, but we were just calm, I would say, still. It says, "Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee." And I don't know, you know, why the Lord had me have that vision. Because I said, I've been going off, you know, and all brothers go off, you know. No, the scriptures tell you our righteousness is as filthy rags, but like, I had to like, I'm gonna say, at times in this truth, I say earlier, there was times where the Lord literally put like a block on you, you know, or you deactivated for a little bit. And it's like, at times, some days, going back to when I first got the truth, it's like some days, all right, I make plans, you know, I got class or whatever. When I get home, I'm gonna pray. You know, I'm gonna have a prayer session. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And it's just like the Lord literally gonna take it from your mind, like I read in Job 33. If He don't want you to pray, you're not gonna pray. If He don't want you to prophesy, He gonna take it from you. You know, that's why even the apostles and some of the other brothers say, you know, if the Spirit is not on them to speak, then they'll pass it off to another brother. But I don't know why the Lord had me have that vision, because I would say for the last week, I say for the last 2 weeks, it's like he had a block on me. Like I couldn't even go into the scriptures. It's like he wouldn't even allow me to. And I would think about it, like what's going on. It sounds simple. It's just, okay, you just pull out your phone, you just you just make a video. But it was like he just cut me off for a second. And so during that time where I couldn't do it, and it's all spiritual, because I couldn't, And it wasn't like, I'm gonna make an excuse for myself. It was just like, it just wasn't there. And that whole time, I was thinking, like, why is this happening? Number one. Number two, the Lord could just kill me at any moment because I'm not speaking. I'm not doing a video, period. And it was basically like a rebuilding, a refounding of the fear of the Lord. Because, as I said earlier, the scriptures tell you that the deceived and the deceiver are his. So even if you bug out, the Lord did that to you, and you have no say so. It sounds easy to just, every day I'm just going to believe. You don't know that. You might wake up and literally be a Muslim the next day. So that's why I'm saying I don't know. Salakia. Me personally, I don't know why the Lord gave me that vision. And I've had visions since I found out the truth. Like one specific vision, when I first found out the truth, it was all spiritual. I basically came into this knowledge through IUIC. I was in the military. This was 2017, January, February, March, April time frame. I would say April time frame, April. And so, that was, for a while, I was just watching IUIC. Because I didn't know, okay, I just thought, okay, all right, I'm an Israelite, and they teach me the Bible. I gotta watch them. Literally, I didn't even know there was other camps and things like that. So I'm following IUIC, still believing in Jesus Christ and God and Most High and Christ bless.